Hello everyone. Today we are going to be discussing how you can get the most from your social media and also how you can measure your success. Social media went from being a sideline part of our roles 5 to 10 years ago. It was something that we spent 1 to 2 hours a week on, and we posted content every now and then, but it was really a small part of our roles. And that has really grown into the higher expectations and something that can really be almost a full time role if we don't look after how we spend our time posting to the platforms. So, I want to give you a framework to get the most from your social media in as little as time as possible, and also we'll be discussing how you can measure your success. So, there really are three main ingredients for social media marketing success. The first thing that you will need is fans or followers. And we're all just wasting our time if we haven't successfully built up our fan base. I see a lot of schools spending so much time on content and creative posts, and they're trying different things to get more engagement. But in actual fact, they start off fan base is actually lacking, and that's what's letting them down in terms of getting the engagement and the result that they're looking for. So I would start out. I've seen schools that are 500 to 1,000 enrollments actually have fans in the thousands. So as a benchmark, have a look at your competitor schools. How many fans do they have? How engaged are those fans? It doesn't really count if you have fans that they're not engaging and active on the page. But and start out to benchmark yourself. I would set a goal to have double the amount of fans that you have in terms of school enrollments. So if you have 500 enrollments, aim to get about 1,000 people on your fan page. Set that goal for yourself as a first off. Okay, and we'll discuss how you can do that later on in this presentation. The next thing that we need is great, consistent content. This is where all the hard work is. It's not just about fans. We need regular, consistent content. And in this presentation, we are going to go through a few content ideas and systems that are going to help you win in this area. And the last ingredient for social media success is engagement. We've seen so many schools diligently posting, but no one's actually engaging with the content. And so that school market is not stopping to look at the bigger picture of, is what I'm doing working? Or, they're just kind of posting for the sake of posting, but they're not actually looking at if that is actually working with their audience. And so we're going to give you a few tips to increase engagement on your content. And last off, to finish off this presentation, we're going to look at how you can measure the success of your campaigns and report upwards. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is to build your fan base. I recommend when starting out, if you haven't won in this area, to start off just focusing on your parents, building your parents, making sure that your parents like your social media pages and they're engaging with your content. Set that first goal before you start trying to say, okay, we're going to make a viral video and the whole local community and everyone's going to find out about us through social media. I would start out by asking the question, am I winning with current families? And then you can move to broader audiences that are going to also follow your page. The first thing to do this is to first of all choose the right platform for the result that you want. I'll start by saying that Facebook is still absolutely the leading way to reach mums and dads on a daily basis. It's number one for reach and just the sheer numbers of people on Facebook. Now, I know there's, popular opinion is that Facebook is declining and no one's really engaging on Facebook, but actually the data shows that people are still on Facebook on a daily basis. They may be spending a little bit less time a day on Facebook, and they now are splitting their time up between a few social media platforms that they like to consume, but they're still on there every day, and that just means that you have to make your content really sharp and punchy to make an impact. Instagram started out, it's a great platform. Instagram started out as, people thinking this is a platform to reach young audiences. But as you all know, we're all getting older and our habits stay with us as we grow older. So those young people that signed up to Instagram are now older people with young kids, and it makes it the perfect platform to reach families. So another platform to look at is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a fantastic emerging platform. I know it's been around forever, but there's been significant changes to the platform in the last year, and it's significantly growing, both in fan base and also the time that people spend on the platform, and it's becoming the preferred platform of choice for professional working parents. Yeah, there's huge potential for schools to adopt LinkedIn strategy. TikTok is another social media platform that has emerged. I would not recommend using this platform if you're looking to target parents. I would suggest that you can look at its potential if you're looking to reach 16 to 18-year-olds. This is really for the youth. It's going to stay like that for a little while. Yeah, so if you have a program like an apprenticeships program or a university program, university preparation program, something where the student is more involved in the decision making process and you want to influence that decision, TikTok may be a platform that you want to look at. And last but not least is YouTube. YouTube is fantastic for any edutainment type of content. I know a lot of our school marketers just use YouTube to host our videos and share it then onto other platforms. But if you put a lot of intentionality and strategy behind it, you can win and have a successful YouTube channel as a school. The next thing that we want to do is to build our audiences. So there's 3 ways to do this, especially when we're just focusing on families and those people that are in our immediate community, winning with those people first. The first thing to do is to invite people that engage with your content to like your page. And this needs to be done strategically, consistently, on a weekly basis. Go to all your previous posts for the week, click on the people that liked and engaged with your content and invite them to like your page. The next thing that you want to do is to invite new parents or current parents to like your page. Make sure that everyone in your community has received the invite and they know why they should be following you on Facebook. Point to your Facebook and your social media pages as a valuable source of information, up-to-date, relevant, quick information. And you can do this via email. As soon as they enroll, if a family is enrolled with the college, send them a welcome email from your marketing team just saying, these are the platforms that you should connect with us on. And then the next thing to do is to continuously refer to your social media on public stages like assemblies or parent information evenings, events like that, where you can really mention to families and point to your social media pages as a valuable source of information. The last thing in terms of building your fans is to actually keep your audiences clean. We don't want to dilute our messages that we post out there by having audiences that aren't relevant to what we offer. If you have a particular audience, a fan on your page that is not a family, not an immediate parent, they're not part of your community, but they keep on posting like negative comments, they have something against your college for some reason, they're disgruntled local, or it is possible to actually remove them from your page or to ban them from your page. They won't see that they're banned, they just won't get your content or be able to access your page, and that just means that you can just have that little bit of control of your community and the voice that is used. I think often people feel like they have to leave these people on there because they want to kind of preserve their integrity. But yeah, I think it's definitely worth removing people that are subtracting from your community. Great, so now that we have a strong fan base and we're consistently growing our fans every day, we need to keep the content flowing. Consistency is so important here, and this is where a lot of the work comes into our strategies. So most school marketers, what I see is they don't have a reason behind their content. They're very busy running from athletics carnival to cute preppies on the playground, but they've never actually thought strategically about the content that they want to post and the reason behind their messaging. And so let's assume that our audience is parents. I think we need to just take a step back. And one exercise that I like to do is just to ask the question, Like, how am I actually building parents' perception of value and long-term retention with my social media pages? You can use your social media pages to influence the retention of your school. So I like to spend a minute and write down all the negative perceptions that parents have about your school, and then to write down content that can counteract these perceptions. And this writing these perceptions down in a big spreadsheet and then going through a content calendar of specific topics that you want to address throughout your content will help you to better identify strategic opportunities to post the right content. So, for example, if you have a perception that your secondary school is not that academic, maybe you have a history of losing students when they're supposed to be entering secondary school and then they all of a sudden leave your college, and that's a long-term trend that you're seeing. This can be counteracted against by posting great content about academic success in the classroom, shots, student testimonials, teacher perspectives. All of that content is going to help to increase the overall perception of your school and make influence when people are deciding to stay with you for secondary school. The next thing that we can do is to diversify the types of content we post. So don't get stuck on the formula of image and copy, or stuck on the formula of having a blog post on your website and just sharing a link so that people go through to your website to read the blog post. We really need to diversify the types of content. When social media platforms release new kind of content types and reels and stories and all of these, the time when they're the most effective is when they're first launched, which means we're going to have to be creative and experimental and willing to give things a go. So try things like reels. Reels are 15 to 30-second videos that are really fun. They're set to music and have overlays, and they're a little bit like fun in terms of the tone. That's a great strategy for you to get video content out there. When you are posting when you are posting images, just keep to the 20% text rule. So don't have images with lots of text on them. Keep it very visual, and no more than 20% of the image should have text on it. If they are text heavy, then these social media platforms will actually reduce the reach without even telling you or warning you. If you're sharing video content, don't just kind of paste in the link to the YouTube channel or the link to your website with the video on it. Actually upload the video directly to your social media platform. These platforms want to keep engaged users on their platform, and so the more you're able to engage people on the platform, the more reach you'll get for your content. Okay, so let's talk about ideas to generate new content. The first thing that we can do, and I see so many schools, there's so much potential for schools to do this, is for schools to really showcase your school leaders. This can be something like recording your school principal presentations when they're talking at speech nights, when they're talking at parent-teacher interviews, addressing parents in public. Record those presentations, get them transcribed, and then break it into either content pieces or video snippets. This is just excellent ways to develop your leader's voice. This is also excellent for LinkedIn as a platform. The next thing that you need to do is to get your teaching staff to be more public facing. At the end of the day, as schools, our product really is our teachers. Everything is led by the teacher's expertise, and the quality of our teaching is the quality of our school, really. So have your teachers do 2-minute videos where you can have the maths teacher stepping through a maths equation, or your prep teacher reading a book, or telling them about how they run their classroom or their teaching philosophy. Have them share 2 minutes, 2 minutes on their approach. The next thing that we can do is to share good news stories. I won't go into this one in too much detail. This is the one that we all get right. This is the stories about achievement, success, camps, clubs, sporting achievements. This is the one that I feel like schools do that one really well. And then another idea for content is to think about parenting needs from a broader perspective. So think about engaging parents with content such as tips on managing family life, recipes, or parenting tips, something like that. The last piece of content that I want to talk about is user-generated content. User-generated content is the pinnacle of success when it comes to, if you're able to get users to generate content for you, that shows the ultimate level of engagement from your audience, that they're really that engaged in your social media, that they're willing to take the time out and make a post and tag you into it. I wanted to give you an example of how this is done, and so I've given you the Starbucks Red Cup contest, where fans took a photo of themselves in different scenarios using this red cup, and it could be them just having a walk on the river or in the office sharing a cup with a friend, and they shared the post and then tagged Starbucks in the post. And this is really fun. It's a great way to get families engaged. And think about how you can do this. Could you do this for, if your school is having an Easter hat parade, could you take photos of the different Easter hats? Or a crazy socks day? Could you have, families, or families, could you have families sharing ideas of what they packed for lunch, like a lunchbox ideas sort of contest? And then you can say the parent that gets the most engagement on their post, can win a prize or something like that. I think it's just doing one or two of those really fun, community engaging posts where the user's actually generating content will do a world of good for your social media pages and increase the health of your page. The next thing we need to do, we've got the content, we've got the fans, is that we actually have to keep people engaged. And this is really where we have to step back and think about the bigger picture. Ask about whether what you're doing is really actually working. Don't just kind of post content on a Monday and a Wednesday with an image and text because that's what you have to do. Take a step back and really understand what works. So the first thing that we need to do is take a look at your page. When you're planning out strategically, taking a step back, planning your content calendar, look at the posts that work and write down the reasons why you think they worked, and then include more of that content in your future posts. Another thing that we need to do is just to make sure that we're following platform rules. Rules such as having no more than 20% text on the image, and also avoiding certain keywords that we aren't allowed to mention on these platforms. You're not going to get any kind of warning. You just won't reach anyone, and so you just need to brush up on the rules to make sure that you are following them. The next thing that really helps and is key to engagement is consistency, keeping your content consistent and regular, so that people can start to expect your page to be both a reliable and current source of information. So it becomes a place to go for what their children have been up to. If families go to your Facebook page for information that's not there and they expected it to be there, they will just stop visiting, and you won't know that they stopped visiting, and you won't know that that's an expectation from them. It just won't work for you. I would also I wouldn't develop your schedule of content until you really feel that you understand what works. Following a content schedules where you're posting Mondays and Wednesdays, one picture, one video, it doesn't really work, and that consistent posting with low engagement numbers actually looks really bad on your page. So rather, if you can only produce one high quality piece a week and it's getting great engagement, then go for the quality over the quantity. I would start with on-platform content. As I mentioned before, these social media platforms don't want to drive people off of their platforms. They want to keep people engaged on their platforms. So posting content that is linking to your website or linking to YouTube or anything else is going to get lower reach just naturally, because it's taking people off the platform, and that's not what they want. If you're really trying to start boosting your engagement per post, keep it to on-platform content. So upload the videos into your platform. Blog posts can be done either as long posts in the platform or You can even use tools such as the LinkedIn newsletter, which is a fantastic tool to get reach to all your your LinkedIn fans, and that actually even gets emailed to your followers, and you don't even have to know the email address. I would then mix up your content types to keep it interesting and engaging and different. Don't just stick to that formula that you feel comfortable with. Try new things each week. Set yourself a goal to try one new content type a month. And then also the last point in terms of keeping your engagement up is that, don't just post for the sake of posting. As I mentioned, quality is important. To close off our presentation, I just want to say a few points in terms of measuring your success. It's very important that we can actually show a result for all our hard work. It is hard work and it's a lot of hours, and we need to know what we are trying to achieve with our social media. So the biggest thing that I would say in terms of changing your frame of mind, in terms of why you are doing this, is that you are looking for influence, not likes. It's not about likes, and even social media platforms taking away, showing how many people like a post. That's to tell you and to communicate to you that it's not about likes, it's actually about engagement. Social media platforms are looking, if you post a video, are people actually watching that video through to completion? So next time you post a video, look through the whole video and say, are there any kind of dead or redundant kind of areas in this video that we can kind of shorten? Because if the more people that play through your entire video, that's better for your stats. So look at things like video playthroughs, increased engagement, commenting, engaging, clicking, growing page fans. Those are the things that we want to look at in terms of success. A way to keep an eye on this, yes, you have the Facebook Insights, and you have insights for your different platforms to various different degrees. If you really want to take this up to the next level, you can build a reporting dashboard. This can be done through data tools such as Google Data Studio. You may need to get a professional to build it for you and to build data connectors, but once it's done, and it's a really valuable tool for you to measure the ongoing success of your social media efforts.